What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the second video for Epoxy Innovations. Now, this one here is a little bit different of a video. It is for my dad's garage. Okay, a lot of learning, a lot of hiccups, but as you can see here, he's got a couple classic cars. This is the main one right here. I believe it's a 65. Don't get me wrong, but it's 65 GTO. Then right next to it, under the cover, it's a 63 Tempest. So, and as you can see here, he's got a nice trophy case of all of his accomplishments. He's been a lot of road races for running, a lot of car shows, so on and so forth. So he deserves a nice showroom type of garage for his cars. Okay, my parents host parties in this garage, and it's just one of them things where he deserves a good looking floor. Now, he did initially try to save a little bit of money, because through me it is a little bit more expensive because the product is worth it. But he decided to go through a box store. I'm not going to say what store he went through, but he did get a couple of kits through a box store. And I helped him out with it. It was just a roll-on epoxy type of floor. He went with a gray floor with some paint flakes and stuff like that. And then he thought he was going to be good, and I said, hey, you need a top coat. You need to help protect that paint layer, that epoxy layer. You need to put a top coat over top of it. So he went to the same store, went and got the same brand that he got for the epoxy. He got top coat, all gloss finish. He had bought 2 kits, and each kit had 2 different like bags per se. You had to mix the bags. Like, you had 2 separate parts of the bags. You had to mix them together, and then you poured it out on the floor. Well, each kit had 2 different bags, and the first kit he put on the floor, no problem. Second kit, put on the floor, no problem. Went in the next day, and he found out that even though both kits, they all said gloss finish, one was matte, one was gloss. So here you go. You can see nice transition from what the floor kind of looked like finished, and here we are redoing it. He pre-primered. He bought the primer off of me. We re-primered everything. We sanded down the paint flakes, re-primered the floor, and now I'm putting in a silver grease coat, pretty much like how I did with my countertops, because epoxy likes to go where epoxy's already been. And plus with that is it helps put a little bit of coloring down on the floor for that base coat. So that way when we go put the rest of the colors on, it's not just a plain black floor underneath. And we went with the black and white type of marble style of floor. That's what he wanted. So that's what we went ahead and, that's what we went ahead and did. So here we are. We're going through, putting down the epoxy and everything. I got it all spread out, and he wanted to put a little bit of gold in it, so I put some gold veins in. I'm just taking a paint stick, carrying a bucket around with the paint, the gold epoxy, and with the paint stick I just kind of drizzled down the floor. Now this pattern will change, because if you can see, there are some defects on the floor. The humidity was extremely high on this day and the next. On the next segment, you can kind of see on the floor here, especially since we just sanded it down, we're putting more epoxy down. This is like a week later, but you can see like all the round spots and stuff like that. It was just, the humidity is so high, the epoxy just wasn't set. It was setting up way too quick is what I was doing. And today, or this day, was no different. We had to wait another week or so for the epoxy to come in and for me to get off of work to be able to do this, which gave Dad plenty of time to sand down, so that way the epoxy has a mechanical bond to the other layer, since it was over the 24-hour period. If we were able to put epoxy down on top of the other epoxy within 24 hours, he wouldn't have had to sand. But here we are a week later, sanded. I put in the same colors. I'm just going back over the floor, not really to add more color. It was just to try to fill in those voids the best I could. But as I was saying, the humidity, I mean, you can see the sweat on my shirt. I mean, we barely even were out there that long, and I was just sweating bullets. It was just setting up way too quick. Even with the dehumidifier going, fans going, stuff like that, it was just way too humid in there. But since I am trying to drag out the epoxy to fill in those voids, once again it's set up, and you will see lines going in, but actually at the in the end, it actually turned out really good. It's not that nice glass top finish. It's not a nice smooth glass top finish, but it looks more like a slate, like it's like a slab of slate cut out. You can see it. You'll see what I mean. It actually looks pretty neat. It's unique, but I was just trying to fill in the voids that were there, like the little spots here and there. And then from here, I had some more gold, and I put in a more dominant gold vein. But here I am with the 91% isopropyl alcohol. I did this in the first step as well. Just go through, spray the whole floor, get rid of air bubbles and stuff. And now this bottle I'm spraying with actually has gold metallic coloring mixed in. So that way I sprayed all the floor to give it more of a gold metallic and make the veins a little bit more dominant and spread out. And now here you can also see that new gold vein I put in with the extra gold epoxy. And here we are on the final step. We're putting on the top coat to help protect that epoxy layer. This will also help with, he can just scrub the floor, he can spray it on the floor, he can do whatever he wants with the floor. It's protecting that undercoat, the epoxy undercoat. So that way there's no tire marks or anything else like that. It can just, it'll be fine. So, and this top coat here, it's gonna be like a gloss type finish, but it is textured. So that way it's a non-slip surface. So that way if the garage floor does get wet, he doesn't have the risk of slipping. So, but anyhow, this is pretty much it here. And you can see I'm wearing my new Epoxy Innovations shirt, getting a little bit of some, not really merchandise, but some company wear. But I thought I was going to have some issues with where this overlapped, because you can see I just kind of split that up into halves. I did the first half and then got that good, and then I went to the second half. And here you are. I'm going to finish it out here. This is the finished product, and you can kind of see where I was saying with those lines. It just looks like it's a slab of slate or whatever just cut out, and it's got the groove marks. It's kind of neat. But so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. My very first garage floor, my second full project with the company. So it turned out really good, even with the hiccups. We managed to overcome. But yeah, so like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. If you guys liked it, don't forget to share and subscribe, and don't forget to like as well. So, but I'm gonna finish this out, let you see the floor in its full goodness. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.